This time of year is the most conflicting for me. For more information on that, check out this video I did last year. Link in the carcancha below. So many mixed feelings about Dia de los Muertos being Cinco de Mayo. Still didn't stop me from doing or attempting to do a sugar skull. I need those sweet, sweet clicks, okay? In the spirit of needing the clicks, this week I thought it would be fun to check out a movie that is tangentially about Dia de los Muertos. That's right, mi familia. We are talking about the classic that is on Disney Plus right now. You guessed it, The Book of Life. I'm gonna admit something right here, right now, with y'all, and I trust you won't judge me. I have never seen the Pixar movie Coco. If I get more subscribers, I might watch it one day and do a review, but as of right now, never seen it. I just remember when Coco came out, I was like, wasn't there already a movie about Dia de los Muertos? Isn't it kind of soon for a remake already? This isn't Batman or Spider-Man. Side note, it's hilarious when movie studios have competing movies happening in near proximity of each other. Those are called twin movies. There is always a clear winner with these movies, not to be confused with remakes. I'm not saying Dangerous Liaisons and Cruel Intentions. I'm talking about Dangerous Liaisons and Valmont. One is iconic and the other is mostly forgotten. Some examples include Volcano and Dante's Peak, Ants and It's a Bug's Life, Finding Nemo and Shark's Tale, The Matrix and Existence, Capote and Infamous, Armageddon and Deep Impact, Friends with Benefits and No Strings Attached, Mirror Mirror and Snow White and the Huntsman, White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. I could go on, but that's not the point of this video. I'm just pointing out how The Book of Life and Coco feel like twin films. Although it feels more like the folks at Disney Pixar saw The Book of Life and saw an opportunity to make so much money. Disney is the master at merchandising and commodification. I bow at their ability to make all the money. The Book of Life had a lot of amazing merchandising opportunities, but didn't take advantage of any of them. Disney Pixar's Coco did. From what I know and what my sister has told me, the stories of both movies are quite different, but the backdrop of Dia de los Muertos is the same. She also told me The Book of Life is superior, and I'm trusting that she's correct. This was a slightly harder review to do. I have no super strong opinions about the movie. We'll get into the usual things like we do in these reviews: production, plot, the good, and the not so good. Spoilers? I enjoyed this movie a lot. Just for fun, I'm going to point out some of the nods this movie has to pop culture that I noticed. There are quite a few of them, and they're a lot of fun. Ready? Vámonos. The Book of Life is produced by visionary Mexican director Guillermo del Toro. Hey, there's another twin movie. Del Toro has Pinocchio that just came out, and Disney just released another one of their trash remakes of Pinocchio. Writer-director Jorge R. Gutierrez had been working on this story for years, almost a decade. Gutierrez met Guillermo del Toro, and they tried to sell the story to all the big animation studios, but were rejected over and over for about 6 years. Based on some interviews I saw, I'm guessing they tried to sell it to Disney, but neither Gutierrez or del Toro wanted to merchandise the movie. My best guess is that Disney passed but saw the merchandising potential and boom, there's Coco. Seems like that's what happened, doesn't it? In that interview, Del Toro and Gutierrez made it a point not to make the movie commercial or merchandisable. The Book of Life is extremely personal to Gutierrez, and Del Toro was very respectful of that. The story, if you've seen it, is extremely earnest and directly from the heart. Even though it's kind of basic and not a masterpiece, it's a nice little movie that I enjoyed a ton. A story like this, coming directly from the heart, makes it that much more special. Gutierrez took things from his real life to make this world. The character of Maria is based on his wife. Manolo is based on Gutierrez and his father. The reason Dia de los Muertos is the backdrop of the story because that is a day where all of those we love and care about who have passed on come back. Gutierrez got married on November 2nd, the official Dia de los Muertos day, because he wanted his best friend who had passed on to be there with him. Is it just me, or is that a freaking touching and beautiful story? Since the story and the style is so personal and so not commercial and so not like anything else, Del Toro and Gutierrez had an extremely tough time selling it to all the studios. Fox Studios finally greenlit the movie, and The Book of Life premiered on October 17th, 2014. Now that we know how we got here, let's take a closer look at what we've got. The Book of Life is written and directed by Jorge R. Gutierrez. Gutierrez is best known for the Nickelodeon series El Tigre: The Adventures of Manny Riviera, and the Netflix series Maya and the Three. Gutierrez has a very distinct style, and I think it's super cool. The movie stars Diego Luna as Manolo. Diego is best known for being Diego Luna. Zoe Saldana as Maria. You know Zoe as Gamora, Uhura, Neytiri, Maya, and La Colombiana. Channing Tatum as Joaquin. Channing is best known for being Magic Mike. Man, that movie was so disappointing. Ron Perlman as Xibalba. Ron you'll know as Hellboy, The Beast, and Guillermo del Toro's most frequent collaborator. Christina Applegate as Mary Beth. If you're my age or you love reruns, you'll know Christina as Kelly Bundy. Kate del Castillo as La Muerte. Kate has been in a million things. She is best known right now for La Reina del Sur, Badass, and Ice Cube as the Candlemaker. Here's a fun generational gap. You either know Cube from Friday or Are We There Yet, or as a rapper. It all depends on how old you are. I'm an OG, so he's the rapper from Friday. So many awesome legends are also in this movie. Hector Elizondo, Danny Trejo, Eugenio Derbez, Gabriel Iglesias, Cheech Marin, and more. Love to see it. The Book of Life tells the story of three childhood friends, Manolo, Maria, and Joaquin. Both Manolo and Joaquin are in love with Maria. The gods of death, La Muerte and Xibalba, make a bet on who Maria will choose. La Muerte is the goddess of the land of the remembered. Xibalba is the god of the land of the forgotten. They are or used to be lovers? The timeline is a little unclear to me. One Dia de los Muertos, La Muerte blesses Manolo. Xibalba gives Joaquin a medal of life that makes him immortal. The kids make mischief and Maria is sent away. The movie cuts to everyone being older. Manolo is a bullfighter because it's a family tradition and to make his dad happy. Manolo really wants to be a musician. Joaquin is a decorated soldier keeping villages safe from bandidos. Maria has come back and will make her return at Manolo's next bullfight. Who is Maria going to choose? It's kind of obvious, but the ride there is really nice. I'll end the plot summary here because I want you guys to watch it. I want more attention and more people to watch this delightful little movie. You'd think I'd have a problem with all the white folks in this cast. I have no problem with that in this movie. The cast top to bottom is really good and, well, really well cast. Channing Tatum as Joaquin makes sense. You need a big, handsome dummy, Channing. He's a Ken doll, and the character is also a Ken doll, so it works out. Plus, the guy with the thick, juicy accent wins. So that's another bonus. Ron Perlman as Xibalba is really cool. Ron has a great voice that is slightly malevolent, but also not completely evil. Ron and Guillermo are tight for a reason. He's a fabulous actor and always understands the assignment. Christina Applegate as the museum guide. What is there to be mad about? I also see it as the Latin Hispanic community contains all races and ethnicities within it. We have a surprising amount of white people, and this movie shows it. Also, Ice Cube is here, and he is delightful. It also shows how we can be tight with the black community. Plus, we need to show more love to the black community and a lot more love to the Afro-Latinos. Maybe Cube should have been the genie in the live-action Aladdin movie? The better choice to be the genie would have been Fluffy, and that movie should have been directed by Baz Luhrmann, but I digress. The main thing that is beyond great in this movie is the style and the design. I do have one quarrel, but that is for the next section. Since we established before, the Book of Life is 100% a passion project, with Gutierrez and Del Toro's priority being art over merchandise. It makes the look and feel of this movie more special. As much as I want a plush of this little piggy Chewy, I'm kind of glad there isn't. How does this relate to style and aesthetics? Since the point wasn't to sell toys, nothing looks too cutesy. This style can look unique, distinct, and like nothing else. Like Miko in Pocahontas only exists to sell toys. Miko serves no other purpose than selling toys. In the Book of Life, there aren't any characters like that. All the characters serve a purpose and nothing is shoved in there to sell toys. The only thing you could use to sell toys with is Chewy, but even Chewy serves a small purpose in the larger narrative. The Book of Life doesn't look like it's from the Disney Pixar factory, so it's really different, and I find that not just wonderful, but refreshing. When something comes out that is truly unique, we have to support it and highlight it, hence this video. This movie is art, in the most honest sense of the word. On the technical part, the mise en scène doesn't feel overwhelming or cluttered. With so much style happening, art design, not done well, can feel like it's too much. It's too busy. The Book of Life never felt that way to me. I saw a review that said the design should have been more like a Tim Burton movie, and I'm like, no. Tim Burton is kind of sort of a hack, but again, what makes this movie good is that it doesn't look like anything else. That reviewer has no taste. No tiene sazón. Look at how amazing the Land of the Remembered is. It's gorgeous. Also, I want my clothes to have these designs on them. No analysis, I just think it's cool. Last thing I'll mention in this section is Diego Luna's accent. When Rogue One came out, there was some talk about how Diego having that kind of accent in that kind of movie is inspiring. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Book of Life did it first. To have Manolo be the hero of the story and for him to be the only one with that kind of accent is awesome. I think he made his accent even thicker and juicier than usual. The only good or attractive accents shouldn't be just the Western European ones. Other accents, especially Latin Hispanic ones, can be hot too. I'm talking about sexy accents in a review of a kids movie. Next section, please. These aren't real problems, but little tiny quibbles. more on the technical side because I'm a nerd. The accuracy of Dia de los Muertos mythology or traditions is not here. If you want to know more, check out this video I did 2 years ago explaining all I could about Dia de los Muertos. Link down below. Wow, this channel has been a failure for over 2 years now. That's some kind of accomplishment, right? La Muerte looks like La Calavera Catrina, a character made up to make fun of upper-class folks who look down on indigenous traditions like Dia de los Muertos. Using her in this context kind of undermines the original meaning of La Calavera Catrina. Most folks don't know the history of La Calavera Catrina, so this won't bug them like it bugs me. On a positive note, La Muerte's skin looking like sugar is a great detail. She looks granular, like an actual sugar skull. It's great. La Muerte and Xibalba as the goddess and god of the afterlife is something I'm not fully on board with. For no other reason than that's not who's in charge of the afterlife. Xibalba is the Mayan god of the stinky death. Mayans had different gods of death that would take you, depending on how you died. La Muerte or La Santa Muerte is from Catholic lore. The male and female death deities are from Aztec lore. The god and goddess of the Mictlan, the land of the dead, are Mictlantecutli and Mictlantecihuatl. It would be more accurate if the bet was between Mictlantecutli and Mictlantecihuatl. You could argue that maybe in the 2010s, Wikipedia wasn't the semi-reliable source for information that it is now. Well, let me tell you about a comic book from the 90s called The Invisibles. There is a villain that summons the powers of Aztec gods. Gods I'd never heard outside of that comic. And one of the heroes summons the powers of Mictlantecutli. This comic came out at a time before the internet, so author Grant Morrison went down to the library and looked up Aztec mythology from books, like a nerd. I'm just kidding, I love Grant. If Grant could do it pre-internet, Gutierrez could have done it too. The counter-argument could be that Dia de los Muertos is a celebration that is a lovely mixture of different traditions and cultures. So La Muerte and Xibalba are bringing together Catholic traditions with Mayan gods in a semi-national celebration. So a Mayan god having this two-headed Quetzalcoatl is, I guess, an extension of that? Plus, Dia de los Muertos is only a backdrop of this movie. It's not a college lecture on death celebrations in Latin America. Even though the land of the remembered and the land of the forgotten is only a thing that exists in this movie, I don't have much of a problem with it. The two lands are more about keeping the memories of your loved ones alive, and that's nice. That's kind of the whole point of a celebration like Dia de los Muertos. Here's a nerdy, super technical problem I had. As established, I love the design of everything in this world. It's gorgeous and I can't get enough. However, the character designs lacked a distinct silhouette. In animation, distinct silhouettes are important. You should be able to see this image and know who those characters are. And you should be able to do that with any drawn character, from the most iconic to the more cult classic. In the Book of Life, the silhouettes are not distinct enough from each other. Manolo, his father, and Joaquin's silhouettes look identical. If you aren't paying close enough attention, you're not sure who's Manolo and who's Joaquin. Then you see the mariachis having the same shape as the nuns, or the giant bandito looking like this relative of Manolo. During the big fight at the end, the lack of distinction makes it impossible to follow what is happening coherently. It's paramount in an action scene that all the action is clear and easy to follow. Again, I enjoy the look and style of this world. It doesn't look like anything else out there, and that's wonderful, but the characters needed to be a little more distinct from each other. I am really letting my nerd flag fly in this video. Yeah. The last thing I had a problem with is Okay, this story is unapologetically Mexican. The beginning has the line, Mexico is the center of the universe. Even though it's about Mexico, the story felt super Spanish to me. The bullfighting is very Spanish. Yeah, Mexico has it, but when you think of bullfighting and how important it is, you think of Spain. The Spanish take it super seriously, not Mexico. Also, there is this weird implication. The movie has a bunch of bandidos, faceless bad guys. Historically, so-called bandidos were pro-Mexican, pro-underclass freedom fighters. The stereotype of Mexicans being lazy, dirty, criminals, overall bad guys, comes from Hollywood racist depictions. This movie, knowingly or not, leans into that stereotype. It's not helped by the fact that the good guys are very European. Manolo is a name that is not heard much outside of Spain. We already went over the bullfighting. Maria is sent to Spain to become a good, proper young lady. Even Joaquin, being a Mexican soldier, is kind of weird. He is the big, dumb Mexican soldier that is not going to succeed. The subtext is that Spain is good and Mexico is not as good. That's how it came across to me. My family agrees that the story is too Spanish for claiming to be super Mexican. Tell me if you agree or disagree. I noticed a lot of nods to popular culture in the Book of Life. This isn't a knock on the movie at all. I think it makes it extra fun and entertaining when animation follows in the grand tradition of making references to movies, pictures, high art, other animation, pop culture in general. It's awesome. I'm sure I missed a few references in this section. Let me know in the comments down below the ones you noticed. Xibalba reminds me of Hades and Hercules. Come to think of it, the candle maker reminds me of Zeus and Hercules. The bet between La Muerte and Xibalba is like the bet between God and the devil in the book of Job. Where was that story in Lucifer? The only other bet in movies I could think of is the bet in Dangerous Liaisons. That would have been amazing if at the end of the Book of Life, Xibalba was in front of a mirror wiping off the makeup. Maybe this is a generational thing, but Manolo not wanting to be a bullfighter but a musician instead is a really old trope that probably doesn't exist anymore. It's more of a very special episode of a sitcom storyline. The grandma reminds me of the grandma on Looney Tunes, and she's just cool, a tough, badass matriarch, like it is in real life. The mariachis reminded me of like the Three Amigos. These viejas envidiosas are like the jealous chicks in Beauty and the Beast. Joaquin is kind of Gaston-like, except not an evil bully. Romeo and Juliet vibes when Manolo thinks Maria is dead. Xibalba's jaw-dropping reminded me of the genie's jaw-dropping in Aladdin. The actual Book of Life is very much like the magic carpet in Aladdin. The priest with the wrestling mask is like Nacho Libre, El Cura on Legends of Tomorrow, and I think maybe El Santo or El Blue Demon was a priest in a movie. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. I think that's it. Again, if I missed something, let me know. And here I thought I had nothing to say, and we are 48 minutes in. I want y'all to watch this nice, unique little movie. It really embodies the spirit of Dia de los Muertos. Live for the day, honor those who have gone before us, keep the memory alive of all of our loved ones. I think Jerry said it best.
I told him her death takes place in the shadow of new life. She's not really dead if we find a way to remember her.
What is that?
Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan!
Thanks, Jerry. What are your plans for this year's Dia de los Muertos? I really do hope you can find time to honor your loved ones who have passed on for a couple of days a year. Know that they are with you. And watch the Book of Life. If it hasn't become obvious already, I highly recommend this little movie. Thank you so much for watching. Digital hugs of love during this time. And as always, salud, mi familia. Today, so we got the Aztec Disc of Death, the Mictlan thing, and I got my skulls to finally be here. I bought these like last year and I've been trying to figure out how to get them on camera, and here they are. Hopefully, my Tosompatli will be done and I'll have it up in the next video or the one after it.